Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 68th edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by my fellow Hans Zimmer appreciator, Jaden.
Hold on, you're going to ask for nicknames to be recommended and then you're not going to use them.
I took note of some. I want to sort of mull on them a little bit longer, sort of see what works. You know, we saw Just Woke Up Jaden.
That's us.
Was suggested.
That
Well, isn't that Fitzy?
It
Isn't that
is.
Fitzy just woke up? Like, that's not even applying to the right.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't... Yeah. So, I feel like there's some brainstorming to be done. One that I will use now and probably never again because it's a bit I don't know. I would say career damaging potentially is The Keeper of Children. Fitzy, aka Liam.
Hey.
After that,
Throw me on the bus, but not Jaden. Wow.
Yeah, that's a good point. We need something equally as crude for Jaden, I think. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is Slaughterhouse Rulez with a Z, aka In It, the movie. And it opened up in the UK on the 31st of October 2018. It was directed by Crispian Mills. The genre is a comedy. The synopsis tells us that an illustrious British boarding school becomes a bloody battleground when a mysterious sinkhole appears at a nearby fracking site, unleashing unspeakable horror. Wow. Fitzy, Slaughterhouse Rulez.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Jaden first.
I'm going to go Jaden last.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do right now. Go for it.
I thought it was alright. I thought it got better as it went along. Like, earlier on, there was a lot of awkward editing choices and jokes that didn't land, but then I feel like we kind of saw the director actually improve as the movie went along. So I found some stuff in it pretty funny. I don't know. Overall, it was pretty good in the end. Yeah. It grew on me as it went on, I think.
I agree. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it by any means, but I totally agree with that. It definitely grew on me as it went, for quite a specific reason, actually. But it's totally ridiculous. Falls flat in a lot of areas for me. But I think at the end of the day, what it was Jaden setting the expectations right. You know, I don't know if I knew nothing about this. I don't know how I would have felt. But going in with a certain mindset, it's like, okay, you know, it was decent B movie entertainment, which is typically not up my alley, but it came together for me as it went on, and it's sort of another weird one to review, I guess, but at least for me. But I don't know, the movie's out there in a lot of ways. It surprised me. It attracted the budget and the talent it did, especially when Margot Robbie was just in this movie for some reason. And I guess, but I don't know, I guess Simon Pegg and Nick Frost being attached to something brings it attention. So who would have thought? So yeah, tell us about it, Jane. How many times have you seen this movie? That's what I want to know.
This is my 6th time watching it.
Holy shit!
And
Holy God.
And I love it every time. Like, genuinely, I love the dialogue. I love the story, no matter how cringy it is. I love the acting. I love the characters. I just love what it sets up, and I love what it conveys. I think I really, really like this movie so much. I think it's hilarious. I think I am inclined to agree that it gets better as it goes on. I think especially in the first 15 minutes, it's a lot of exposition and a bit, trying to get to this one place, and then once it gets there, I think is when it starts improving. And then kind of 40 minutes in is when it starts getting noticeably better. But I'm there for the entire ride, and I don't know. I just love it. Yeah.
To go in on this point, for me, and I think it's exactly what you're talking about. For me, it's the the second the monsters come out of the hole, I'm like, okay, this is what this movie is. I get it. I'm feeling it, because everything before that is sort of weird and disjointed. We're cutting to Simon Pegg a lot, talking to Margot Robbie on a phone call, and it feels like, why are we doing this? And then it cuts to Nick Frost in the woods, and then it's there's all these different weird things going on, and obviously the school itself and the characters in it are bizarre as it is. So it's sort of like, what is this movie? I'm not trying to find what it is. And then, but the second it's okay, this becomes a goofy, friendship journey, survival in the woods in the school area. I'm like, okay, it found its footing totally. And then that's where it really shined for me, when just some of the silly situations and the that whole, what was that, that the orgy or whatever was pretty funny. And then all the the back and forth between the characters and the banter during all of that is where the movie's like, okay, this is it right here. Especially between those two, like those two younger dudes.
Yeah, Wooden and Hargreaves.
Yes, Hargreaves. I'm so glad. We're here. You've got the character names.
I love like but I'm a necromancer. Like, you're a dick, you know. Like that's like one of my favorite.
There's a few definitely. There's a few things like that. In terms of a standout character, I don't know. It was dumb as dog shit, but I really did quite enjoy Clegg. It was Clegg, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at first he's just like, pain in the ass, strict dude, but when that escalates in towards the end, when he's like in full like Spec Ops gear, and he's got the face paint on, it's like totally absurd. But I found that stuff pretty funny. I don't know if you had to pick, Jan, who's your favorite character?
Willoughby, Ace Butterfield's character. This is the movie that made me like really like love Ace Butterfield. It's like I love how melodramatic and like just like out of it he is, and like how much he adds to it, and like I just love the way he kind of like he's just always present and like he's kind of withdrawn. I just love what he adds to the movie. It's like
this dude. This is Ender, right?
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That's how I know him. Okay, no, I see that. I quite like him as an actor. And I think in the movie's probably got. I mean, I think the movie falls flat a lot of the time when it's like trying to be, I don't know if emotional is the right word, but when it's like trying to deliver on like not goofy shit, but I think in terms of that stuff, he's probably the best because he's got the most to latch on to. He's got the backstory of the other friend who killed himself, and that sort of sticks with him. And there's a few scenes where they talk about that, and that's sort of where the movie, you've got the most to dig into with him. Outside of him, like I don't know. There's not a whole lot else, really. What about you, Fitzy? Where's your favourite character, and why is it weird? High Nick Frost.
Not Nick Frost. I think the headmaster or Simon Pegg. I thought they were pretty good. Like the headmaster, I don't know. He's like too goofy in the first half, but like when they're together with the headmaster, I think it's really funny. I think he's really great. He's the Midnight in Paris guy, though. The wanker guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he is too. That's great. Yeah. I didn't think of that. I must say, there's some performances didn't do it for me. This guy, the headmaster's performance did not do it for me. He was like, he was too much, like in like every scene. Yeah, it's like if you're trying to be goofy, that's cool. But like even in scenes where I feel like we're not being goofy here, like he's being over the top,
But like this is what like the movie's like main prerogative is. I think I use that word correctly. It's this highly satirical depiction of like British private schooling and like how like and it just takes everything and ups it to like the nth degree. It's like this like eccentric headmaster and like like the cadets and like characters like Clegg and like this kind of like speculated about kind of private school experience, or it's like it's just taking that and excelling it to like all the way. It's like any goofiness and kind of oddness in the characters, I feel like is highly intended and meant to be there. It's like
I don't think like British films obviously have British dialogue because they're British, but like this is the most British dialogue. This film is like the most British dialogue I've seen. Like every line is like some British, a word only British people use. Like I can't even think of them right now, but like when the main guy's talking to the Asa after he like tried to kill himself or whatever, it's like every line. It's funny how I don't know. I wish I could give examples, but I'm not British, so. I can't
it's mainly the main guy, right? Because isn't he from the north or whatever?
He's northern and comes across.
He definitely, we get some in it vibe. Like his mum was pretty out there too with the dialogue for sure. I like all that stuff though. It just adds charm to the movie for sure.
I love the. Sorry, you mentioned the dialogue after he tries to hang himself, and it's like, rage against the machine, and it's like dying the light, and it's like it's I don't know, another moment I like a lot.
Life's not that bad, isn't it? Life's not that fucking bad, is it? Yeah. It fucking is. That was good.
Or I don't know, my British accent, do they pronounce it like fuck? Like, or fuck? Where's that? Is that more like Irish? Or?
The main guy does a bit because he's northern, but like
yeah.
The other ones I think are a bit more normal.
Watch out for that monster in it, like.
Oh god,
that was terrible. Can we just make this whole episode British impressions?
We should, yeah.
I'd be down. I mean, to your every time that the movie, to your broader point earlier, Jane, about like what it's trying to be satirical of. I mean, I appreciate like every line where it's like they draw attention to these places are breeding grounds for world leaders. Like they say that sort of thing multiple times, and I'm just like, in my like film analysis brain, I'm like, oh, dude, the film's giving me commentary. It's like an analysis of private schools, and you know what I mean. Obviously, I don't know if that's the case, but
this is just Geelong Grammar down the road. When which one of the princes went there? Harry, Michael, William, I don't know. Yeah, Harry, Charles, that one. Yeah, That's exactly Geelong Grammar. Just
dude, that's probably what it is, and everything down to like having their their hierarchical structures of I don't know what the pecking order of the school being like biblical. Like you have the gods or whatever. It's like over the top, but it's cool. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think Prince Charles, I like to think Geelong Grammar's just exactly like that, where everyone just has like rifles. Like at the start of the movie when everyone's just got like a rifle for some reason and just doing drugs and shit, I want to get to the bottom of, I mean, I want to say the bottom of some of the aspects that worked and didn't work. I think, is there anything that didn't work for you, Jalen, in the movie? Watching it for the 6th time. So now it's five stars.
Yeah, no, like look, I can acknowledge the fact that there's definitely awkwardness in the interactions in the first half an hour. I think that's for me personally, if there's anything lacking, it's just in the early segments of the movie. I think there's just that little bit of stiffness or awkwardness in like the delivery or in like the interactions with each other and like just the way things are presented. But like, I wouldn't be watching this movie 6 times if it was that much of a bother for me. So I mean, like, yeah.
Sure, no, totally. Like Simon Pegg, is he just like he's just a teacher, right, at the school?
Yeah.
Is that his role?
Like, he's a head of house. It's like a
right. Yeah, because he has that Latin class. I mean, that was pretty funny. I mean, that's like basic. That was like basic comedy shit where the teacher didn't know what he was doing, but I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, for me, it's just sort of alluding to what I said earlier. It's just like every time the movie, and it does it more, I guess, right towards the end. I definitely agree with Jane. Like in the first half an hour, there's weird, awkward exchanges and scenes that are sort of like, why is this here? There's like multiple scenes where Clegg is like abusing children and shit, but they're always sort of weird and awkward. I don't really, at that point, I'm sort of just thinking like, what are we doing in this movie? But like, I don't know. Everything with Nick Frost's characters did not do it for me, and like his brother, like at the end when it was meant to like be the reveal of like, oh, him and his brother like wanted to blow up the school and he died down here or some, and he's like meant to be some sort of weird emotional thing when he dies. I was sort of just like, okay. You know what I mean? I feel like the movie was trying too hard a bit there. I don't know if that resonates with you, Fitzy, but
I think the problems are more what Jan was saying with me. Like, there's a few moments where it's just like the acting wasn't great. Stiff, I guess is the right word. And like some editing things, like in the classroom scene where you're talking about, it cuts to like the 2 boys who are like playing it. They were studying for the quiz, and it just felt weird how they cut back and forth. Like it didn't feel natural. But
totally.
Like other than that, like it was mainly in the first 45-ish minutes, I think. I didn't mind Frost. It was alright,
I quite liked I actually thought that was quite effective at the end when like he's dying and he sees his brother, in the cabins, like that kind of younger age. I thought that was quite emotional. I was like, shit, can't
cool. I wasn't prepared for this, like where the expectations were for. I'm just watching this goofy shit. I wasn't ready for that. I was like, oh, okay. That's what we're doing. Like, the lead actor isn't good, though, is he? You know?
Is he not good, or is just northern?
I don't think Northern England can breed any good actors ever. No. I don't know. He just had very little personality and charisma for me. I was just like, he's very blank slate-ish, you know? I mean, he was not, to be fair, in his defense, like, actually, genuinely, like, him being Northern is something, you know? Like, when everyone, it's like his distinct characteristic. But I don't know. I don't think I've seen him in anything, but he didn't impress me. I'll say that. You know, I was more impressed by, like, we already talked about what's his name? Asa, yeah. I was more impressed by him.
I think kind of the main character is meant to be kind of that point of difference, and he's meant to be that little bit plainer just so we can kind of accentuate the oddities of the others, you know?
Sure. No, that makes sense. And to have it be, like, you know, somewhat the audience surrogate for, like, what the fuck is this place? And then, and then who else was there? I don't know. I didn't really like the female lead. I don't remember her name. I don't know these characters' names. What was her name?
Clemsy.
No,
Clemsy. Yeah, I didn't love her performance. She was kind of stiff. I don't know. You alluded to people being stiff, Fitzy. Are these on your list of stiff performances in this film?
I stole Jane's word. Jane used that. Jane said stiff.
Did you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I didn't really. I mean, she's not really featured much, you know. I don't think
she's there a lot. You know,
she? I don't know.
She's hanging around with the team. Like, in the last 40 minutes, she's there all the time.
Oh no, I don't. No, the stiffness was. It got limper as it went along. It was stiff at first, but then it got limper. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
The stiffness, I don't think it was just an acting thing. I think it was something like an editing thing sometimes in the first half. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see that. I mean, to your point earlier about I agree with the editing thing. I think it's maybe more of in my opinion, more of a structural thing, because it comes down to, I mean, editing and structural is sort of similar, but in terms of, like, you talked about, you know, cutting to the two dudes studying for the quiz or whatever. I totally agree. That felt like a weird, abrupt thing to just insert. And there was a few moments where I'm like, especially, I mentioned earlier, like the Simon Pegg Margot Robbie calls, you know, there's just sort of thrown in there. And there's weird scenes with Simon Pegg in the first half that are so forgettable. I'm just remembering them right now, where, like, Simon Pegg's, like, hanging by the cricket shed or something. Like, remember that? Like, what was that?
He was just having a smoke and was just trying to hide from the kids.
But it was just a weird scene, you know? Like, it was kind of long, and, like, Nick Frost turns up. I just didn't see the humor in the scene. It was just sort of like, there's a few things like that where it's like, why is this here? You know? So I sort of understand.
Yeah, I think that's why the second half is better, because he doesn't, like, it's more necessary. Everything feels more necessary, and, like, because they're together, you can't have those weird things where you just, like, cut something that feels random, you know? I don't know.
Once you get to the second half, you're officially on a ride. You know, you're on a journey. We understand what's going on. You know, as opposed to just like, I'm just watching weird day in the life scenes at this school.
Yeah, I quite like those vignettes though. Yeah, I think it adds to the entire atmosphere of, like, you know, I think each one, you know, however disjointed, does add something to the film. I mean, it's just me approaching from a different perspective.
No, I get you. I don't feel that as much for Simon Pegg's scene. Actually, no, that's not entirely true. I did, like, to your point, like, the whole Simon Pegg when he's, like, the weird tension with Margot Robbie and, like, the other doctor on the other side of the wall. It was weird, but, like, I did quite enjoy it in isolation. I agree. Yeah. That was it was strange. Yeah,
I love, like, especially the one where, like, he's on the call and he's like 5 lines down, and, like, he sees that she's like, I've fallen in love, and he's like, oh fuck, and then, like, she brings up a kid.
Oh yeah.
You know,
that was good.
Oh, yeah.
And what happened there? Was there, like, an earthquake or some shit? Oh no, there was a gunfire
attack or something like that.
Yeah. No, that was pretty funny. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, there's, like, I don't know. This is just one moment I found really funny was when they're in the car and he's, like, down at the brakes. And then, like, the romantic music plays, and he just stares at her, you know, her chest, you know. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I thought the visual comedy was really good. Like in the second half, I felt it got more like clever with that. You know.
I think
Sure.
this movie has like a
Yeah.
lot of good role models that it can emulate in the likes of Guy Ritchie and Edgar Wright's past movies, and even Peggs and Frost's past movies and stuff like that. And because this is Peggs and Frost's first, it's their production company's first, like thing, and like you can really feel their influence and stuff, and you can,
Yeah.
I feel, yeah, I agree with you.
The
The visual comedy
scene
and stuff.
where the car, like the Skoda starts, and it like actually it might not be when it starts. Maybe when it gets out of the bush and it like cuts to all the sides, you know, and it's got like the sound design is like cued with the editing.
Mm.
Like that felt very Edgar Wright.
I love that.
But, yeah.
I love that scene where they think they ran over the dog. It's like when they first get in the car, and like he starts backing up, and he's like, "Oh no, I've hit Mr. Chips," and then it turns out he hit the monster, and I don't know. I just love all the dialogue in that scene. I love the dialogue so much.
Yeah.
Like, I only started taking note halfway through because like, oh, maybe I should take up some of these. But like, I love the I think I remember telling you, Finny, like, I'm sorry if that was really loud, my touchpad. I feel like I remember telling you about like some of the like when Clegg's doing a head count and he's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, fag, 6. Like I like that.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
That was funny as to me, and like the
wow.
like when Clegg's at the but when Clegg rocks up at the like the Greek orgy or whatever, and like it's and Don's tied up, and he's like, and he speaks in Latin, and it's like, it means I'm gonna fuck your face, and like I just thought that was hilarious, and like there's just so many just lines that I just love, and like I can just I don't know.
Jane's sense of humor is getting dissected right now.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't even notice some of that. Probably a lot of it probably goes over my head because I couldn't understand their accents. I could. That was just like a weird, bad attempt at a joke to a reference earlier. Yeah. Trivia time. This is the... Oh, shit. Damn it. We already said this. The first film to be released by Simon Pegg and Nick Frost's production company, Stolen Picture. Thanks, Jaden, for ruining that. I didn't know. I actually forgot I had that one. And filmed at Stowe School, this film is, near Buckingham. The film's director, Crispian Mills, and cinematographer, John de Boorman, are both former pupils from this school. So I think it's fair to say that, I don't know, this might be a bit of a personal film for them, you know what I mean? I'm sure blowing up the school at the end of the film was liberating for them, potentially.
The explosion looked pretty good, don't you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, for what it was, yeah. It was just a really far away wide. I think for like what this movie is, I think, I agree, it was cool. You know what I mean?
I love all the
it would fly if it was being serious.
Yeah, I love all like the establishing shots of the school. It's so cinematic, and it carries so much weight in like each depiction. Like how it like hangs on the water and like it shoots upwards, and like it really makes the school feel like a monument. I really love that.
Mm.
Just love everything.
That's true. It's like, holy shit! Wow. I mean, I didn't see it coming that they would blow up the whole school. Obviously, because it's not really set up until like 5 minutes before it happens. Where they're like, the reveal is that was the original plan to blow up the school back in the day. I mean, part of me sort of, again, like, nitpicking like a goofy B movie, but like, I don't know. Part of me would have liked if that was something that was sort of ingrained in the script earlier, and it's like, oh, it's more satisfying when it happens. But that's like a nitpick, because at the end of the day, if a school blowing up is sort of like, that, however seriously anyone actually wants to take it, is sort of that idea of that fantasy for people, right? So it's like, I think just doing it in a movie all about the private school that's oppressive and shit is pretty funny and pretty good. Like, I don't know how, now that like I've seen the movie, I don't know how else you would have ended it, honestly. What else would have worked?
I think there's pieces for it, but like it's just that they're so disjointed that you can't put them together. Like, so like we're told about the gas leak as like when he kicks the thing in the fire and in the lake, and catches on fire, and like we're introduced to the tunnels, and like it's this school legend of like these kids missing and stuff. So like we're given pieces of where it's going to lead, but not how it's going to get there, and like it's just a bit too hard for the audience to really get there, and like that's not a problem for me.
Like, what's it called?
The lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that being green like the gas or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't even understand why the light was green.
Yeah.
You know, well, the lighter was green.
It's because the
Was I meant
school's
to be
so
confused
posh.
about that earlier?
I think so.
Right, yeah, because I was like, did I miss something?
But that
Yeah,
brings
I
up.
mean, like,
Sorry.
no, you're right.
I
No,
was
go.
going to say, like, that brings up the other half of the film. You know, there's this anti-fracking message that it's carrying, which is extremely potent for modern day Australia as well, because we're having a bit of a problem with it as well.
What is fracking?
I don't know what it is either.
It's just a process of extracting gas from the land and then using it for fuel. I mean, it's just really damaging for the environment and stuff. And but
Like the early world.
our government has collaborated with these companies to say it's not that damaging, but it really is. They're like, no, we have a report from Jasira, which is a CSIRO kind of branch, but that branch was formed by the government just for this report to be released to say it's not that damaging. And like they only like did an examination of 6 wells, and they're like, oh look, you know, it's not that bad. But there's like 3,000 wells in like Queensland alone, so like it is really really bad. But like, yeah.
Holy shit!
Actually, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's 3,000 wells, but I know it's like it's exponentially higher than 6.
I didn't realize that this fracking. Had no idea what it was. This whole environmental thing went over my head. So
Yeah.
good for the movie. Good for the movie. Because I must say, yeah, like, that's another element actually. Going back to like the awkward stuff at the start. Like, every time we're cutting back to like the dudes in the lab, I was like, why? I didn't. Just none of this was connecting in the moment for me. I was like, why are we here? You know?
Yeah. I mean,
Makes more sense now though.
It connects, but it's still awkward. I think their interactions weren't that funny. I think is the main thing.
It was childish, but I thought it was funny. Like the methane leak one where he just farts, and like when they imitate the gunfire as like they're running away. I thought that was like I think it's like where like a bit more of the childish humor comes from, but like I still think it's funny.
Sure. Should we just get to Luke's review of
the
Slaughterhouse Rulez? Luke wrote in a review to us and he said, now, Jaden, I like to think of you as a man of culture. Nice music taste, nice film taste. You've talked this film up and you didn't let me down. The film was solid. The editing was great. I loved the quick cuts. The story was great and delivered pretty much everywhere. Mr. Houseman's cricket obsession was great. I'm sure everyone would be batting over their grade when dating Margot Robbie. That's fair. The students' characters were great. Cleggy was great. Really, real Jeffrey vibes. Is that a reference to something? Might have to ponder that one, Luke. The mole creatures were great, and the timing of the comedy was spot on. 5 out of 10.
That shocked me so much when I read it, because like I'm like, all right, nah, that's his trademarks. I mean, like, but like when I was
That's
like,
hilarious.
this is gonna be like an 8 at least. I was like, oh no, 5, right? It's spooky,
dude. That's like this movie is rated so low.
I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe how low it's rated.
I must admit, I was pretty surprised too. I was pretty surprised. I thought, I totally agree with that. Hey, it's people like Luke contributing. Everyone actually loved it. But they're like, 5 out of 10. Yeah. Like, they're all functioning on like university ratings where it's like, it's a pass.
I had a better time watching this than Seven Samurai, but because that's 4 hours long, I have to give that an 8 and this one a 5. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, and Simon Pegg was alive at the end of this movie. I sort of forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was that was there. I liked how the dog came up and licked him.
I just like how you've talked about in past weeks, like, you know, good use of foreshadowing, and I know like in this movie it's a bit, you know, I guess it's different in this, but like but have you talked? Am I confusing? Have you said that about good foreshadowing? Have you said that?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like,
and like the story of like the
right.
like how they like, you know, like the legend of the school about slaying the beast and stuff, and like how that comes full circle at the end, and like how, you know, we have these where like, you know, these are the new legends and they slay the beast and stuff.
Sure.
You know, I liked it.
Yeah. No, I get you. That is in line with my thinking. I think. Yeah.
And even like how the cadets are mentioned right at the start, about like, you know, when he's like going through the brochure, and, you know, they have an army, and like that becomes like recurring, and like at the end, they go to the armory and stuff, the absurdness of it and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I did like the scene when he was like on the phone crying to his mum to come and get him, please, because that'd be me. That'd be me 100%, dude. I'm just like, for the love of Christ.
That was good. That was good. Yeah.
Get me out of here, bro.
His acting was good in that scene, don't you reckon?
Yeah, he was good there. He was good
There
there.
you go.
I loved him. Forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. Yeah. I will say in terms of individual moments, like the moment, it's like the most common, typical, predictable thing ever when it's like, the protagonist finds out that Clemsy, the dude with her is her brother.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that kind of shit. Like it's so like, oh my god, but it was pretty funny.
I think his reaction to that was great.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's sold.
Yeah. And then he's in the car. He's like, "He's your brother. We gotta get your brother." And he loves the brother now. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Exactly. 100%. That's what sold it, because it's a moment that's like, we've seen this a million times, but damn it, dude, his performance was terrific. Give him an Oscar. Holy shit, I was totally wrong. All right, what's going down with this one for you, Fitzy? What's your final summary on your thesis of this film?
It's pretty funny at times. I don't know. I think, don't be afraid of the low ratings. Check it out because you might like it.
I must say, I don't like, I don't look at ratings before I watch movies if I can avoid it, unless it's like an old movie I've seen the rating for before. But I was shocked. I was like, there are so many movies that have higher ratings that I thought were way worse. And obviously, guess what, everyone? We all have individual opinions. Guess what? I can't believe that. But just in this case, I just want to emphasize that I did find it particularly surprising. What about you, Jaden?
Yeah, it moves up to a 9 for me. I think when I first watched it, I slapped a 9 on it, but like somewhere around like the 4th or 5th rewatch, I think I'd seen it too frequently, so I chucked it down to the 8. But there's been ample time, and it's gone back up, and I mean, like I haven't really said a bad word about it, apart from like some of the things. And at the start, 9 out of 10.
I'm glad you suggested it. It's a bit different for us, I think. I mean, but is this like your ultimate comfort food movie? Is that fair to say? Because it's not even that old either. It's like you've seen it 6 times, but it's not like it was a movie from 20 years ago that you've seen 6 times or some shit.
Yeah, it's definitely one of them, and now that it's easily accessible, it will be for sure. Like when I saw it was coming to Netflix, I was fucking ecstatic. And like had we not been watching for the show, I would have watched it day one that it came up. So yeah,
that's awesome, especially when you've got no. It's 2018. You got no like nostalgia for it, It's not like, I love that movie when I was a kid and I've seen it 20 times. I'll give it a 6. I thought it was decent. Had a fair amount of issues with it. Not entirely up my alley genre wise, but what can I say? I was amused, and like I said, Jane set the expectations correctly, and I appreciate him doing that. I enjoyed it overall, I would say.
I think Liam's kind of middle ground in terms, but I think I'm in terms of like the movies that this is trying to emulate, like the Edgar Wright and the classic Guy Ritchie's, and like kind of in that vein and that esque. I'm on the higher end of those, and you're on the lower end, and then Liam kind of lands in the middle, I think, a bit. So like, I think in that alone, it kind of reflects our opinions of this one as well, because
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I can see that.
British comedy, yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's a good point. Let's get into news chat. I'm here looking, and I'm just like, what do we got? We can talk about, there's the Nope poster. So Jordan Peele's next film, his 3rd feature, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Nope. It's coming out in exactly a year from like Thursday, I think. Basically, exactly a year, and it's a Jordan Peele horror film. You know what I mean? So that's like you sort of that's become a genre and idea in audiences' minds, I think, which is, I mean, really impressive since his first film was Get Out not that long ago, right? So, he's obviously made a substantial impact. So that's cool. But anyway, who's in it? We have I don't know how to pronounce this dude's name, but it's the Get Out guy. It's Daniel Kaluuya.
I think it's just Kaluuya.
Kaluuya?
I think it's just that.
Kaluuya?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kaluuya.
He's terrific. And then you've got I didn't recognize one of the other names, but then I did
Stephen
recognize, of course,
Yeun.
Stephen Yeun. Yeah,
He's
he's terrific.
great.
Was the other one not Kiki Palmer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she used to
was.
be on a Nickelodeon show.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Cool. Was it iCarly? Oh, was that Nickelodeon?
Yeah, iCarly was. Hold on, what was the show
I
called?
think it was.
I think. Oh God, what was it? It was True Jackson VP. Yeah, that was a banger.
Oh, okay. Cool. Fitzy, how do you pronounce Stephen Yeun's name? How do you say it?
Oh, I might have said it wrong. I'm not sure.
I don't know either. Okay, we're both unsure.
Zach, you've watched him in like
But-
6 seasons of Walking Dead. You should know.
Yeun, yeah, I feel bad. He's really good, dude. He's great.
He's great.
You know, obviously he's terrific in Invincible
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
as the lead. Dude, Invincible's cast is stupid. Like, it is dumb. You know what I mean? It is beyond. Like, how did they get these people? You know,
It's such a great. Yeah.
how'd they get John Hamm for like 1 minute of dialogue? You know what I mean?
Who was he? Was he? I didn't
He
know
was
that.
he was like the security guard. He's like in 2 scenes.
Oh, like at the very start of the series.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
in it again, I think, briefly. But yeah, totally. That was crazy to me. It was anyway. Nope. Are we excited? The only thing the poster reveals is that there's a cloud above a town.
And it looks like something's attached to the cloud. It looks like
It did.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like
I don't know.
string. It was like a circus.
It looks like
thing.
Christmas lights almost. Oh yeah, no, you're probably right about the circus thing. It's probably like more like that. I doubt he'd make a Christmas movie.
So, I mean, his 2 films thus far have had like a gimmick, right? I mean, Get Out is, I guess, harder to find, and that's sort of the twist. But Us is obviously like the idea of there's doppelgangers of us, right? What is this movie's gimmick? Is it going to be like a cloud that you can like pull around or some shit? I don't know why that's.
I don't think it's going to be that obvious.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. This isn't much, but it's like it's obviously
Mm.
weird enough and distinct enough to get us thinking.
I think
guess.
it feels like he's a big fan of like Twilight Zone, isn't he? Because like he presented for like the Twilight Zone like reboot, and like he's a
He was the creator of the reboot.
Yeah.
I believe.
and like
Yeah.
just from this poster, I think this one feels the most Twilight Zone esque. You know, does the poster give you that vibes?
I don't know anything about Twilight Zone,
Okay,
so I don't. What do you mean? Is it like sci-fi shit? Is
yeah,
that like
it's,
what
it's,
it
it's,
is?
it's just like a sci-fi anthology that kind of
Mm.
leans into like the creepy and weird a bit sometimes, and like this
Okay.
kind of looks like I don't know if that this is kind of like what I get from it. I think Us could fit
Sure.
it pretty well with the story they have, but like in terms of
Yeah.
like everything else, I don't know. We'll see.
We will see. Yeah, I'm very curious though. I'm very curious. I have to wait. Have you've seen Invincible, Jaden? You
I've
knew
seen
start of series?
I've seen 4 episodes, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Waiting for it.
I just loved using you know how Amazon Prime's got the X-ray feature.
Oh yeah.
Oh
love
yeah,
that shit.
dude, I love that.
Bro,
That's great.
Yeah. While we're talking about it,
That's
how I can't stand it already. How annoying is it that every time he goes to say it cuts to the title screen, and like it,
That's
like
great.
look
I love
It's
that.
great.
in
Get
the
out.
first episode, it's a cool gimmick, you know, whatever. In the
And there's
in the
more-
second episode, you're like, oh yeah, whatever.
There's more blood every time
But,
as well.
but dude, like my third episode, I was like, get out of here, and like fourth, and then I think I watched like the start of the fifth one. So,
I get what you're saying, Jaden. I love it, but and it's also like get used to it because it's dude. This show's gonna have. I mean, it's already. I know they're already doing 3 seasons. They're gonna,
Wait,
dude.
sorry, no, okay. Yeah.
This show, it's gonna do it for the entire time. 100%. It's gonna do it for all. I don't know how long they're gonna go.
The
It's
screen's just
do it
gonna
for
be
the whole thing.
black by the end with all the blood.
Cut. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if you can even get much more blood than we got
Yeah.
towards the end there. Do we want to talk about anything else? Just Dune character posters. I think that was a joke, but like we can talk about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just excited that it's gonna be like I feel like it's gonna be like an event, right? People are gonna like everyone's gonna watch it, like Star Wars. You know, I mean, not as popular, but like because no one watched Blade Runner 2049 in the general public. So like, do you reckon
I'm
people?
very
A lot
scared
of
it's
people
going
will
to
watch
turn
it?
out that way.
yeah, I wouldn't have too high hopes for it to be.
I hope it is, but
So do I. So do I. I hope every movie in existence is successful. I don't know, actually. Do I?
No.
as a general rule, I hope movies are successful. I'm not overly optimistic, to be honest. But I mean,
But,
I don't
like-
know if anyone would have been optimistic for Lord of the Rings before it came out. You know what I mean?
But like at this point, a lot of people, wouldn't they watch it? Like Oscar Isaac, Timothée Chalamet, like they're pretty like household
Zendaya.
names at this point, right? Yeah, Zendaya.
I think you could have said the same thing about Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford.
Uh,
Maybe not to that extent.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't think Blade Runner's cast was as stacked.
No, I think
Don't get me
I think
wrong.
because I think Zendaya is going to pull a different crowd to the movie, and I think that's where you kind of have to hold out hope for it.
Maybe I don't know how big she is. So
No, she's
I mean,
massive.
that's very possible. Is she
I
massive enough
mean-
to get her fans to watch like a sci-fi epic?
Yeah, there's definitely people there that'll do it.
Okay.
I mean, you got Zendaya's in Spider-Man, so you got like an MCU character. And
That's
then
true.
you
It
got-
comes out doesn't it come out like a month or two later?
Oh right. Oh, I thought. No, I'm just saying like she's in an MCU film. Oscar Isaac is in Star Wars. So like, I don't know. People, they're pretty popular. I think. Like people will recognize them,
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah.
Come.
We'll see, man. I'm very curious. Is it October? Is that when the date is?
Yeah,
That's the
I think it's
wide
the
release,
22nd.
I'm 100% excited to see that. All right, we'll get to our highlights of the week. Jaden, what have you been watching?
I finished Fear Street, which we briefly talked about at the start of last week. The last one came out, and I watched it, and I guess I can talk about all three as a whole a bit. Yeah, it's a pretty solid film, if not. I mean, like, so all of them are rather solid. I think they're decent forays into horror, and I think they're good. Maybe not jumping off points. No, they probably are. No, yeah, they're probably good jumping off points for horror. They're because they're a slasher. It's a bit more of that mainstream type thing, I think. And plus, it's from Netflix, and like it kind of has all the trappings of like what young adult horror kind of is today with the neon lights and these this kind of the pitfalls and the all the plot beats and everything. It feels very made for an audience, kind of thing. It feels very crafted for people, and like but it's a good experience. It's I mean it's essentially like a 5-hour film just cut into 3 parts. But I think it's the its primary gimmick of going back in time each time is interesting, and then the way it affects what's happening in 94. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another 3, like I don't know, like 2000, 2008, and then like 2016 or something like that. But like yeah, I don't know. They were good little horrors.
May I ask, as someone who's not connected to horror very much, like was there a level of anticipation around these? Because you knew about them, you were watching them as they were coming out. Like, what was the hook? Is there a director involved here? Is there?
I think it's a lot of nostalgia for the books.
Because there's books.
Because R.L. they're based off R.L. Stein books. Goosebumps, man.
Yes.
And I think a lot of this millennial audience was kind of holding out for him because of that, And I think it delivered on what they wanted. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that was the missing piece of the puzzle for me. What about you, Liam? What's going on?
My highlight is a show called Nothing because I don't have highlight. So.
A show called Nothing. Wow, that's like, is that the prequel to Nope?
Yes, it's the sequel to something.
No Country for Old Men.
Nobody.
It's crazy. Oh yeah, it's better. Much better.
Nobody, nothing,
Yeah.
nope.
I still haven't seen. Oh, dude, I want to watch Nobody for sure. Why haven't I not seen that?
Wait, what's Nobody? Oh, the
Bob
new
Odenkirk, John Wick movie.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that's all you had to say. John Wick, Bob Odenkirk. Why was I not in that seat day one? I have finished now a show. I don't think I've ever talked about it. It's been a show that's been, ongoing part of my life for 3 years. It's called Mr. In Between, and is top 10 shows I've ever seen. It is absolutely sensational. I couldn't recommend it more to anyone. I'm so glad that it's a Foxtel show. It's a fully Australian production based in Sydney, and I'm so glad that it's been picked up by FX. It's over in the US. I don't know what time slot it is in. I don't know if it's like prime time stuff for them, but it airs on FX over there. So it's found a bit of an audience in the US as far as I can tell. And I'm so happy for that because it is, first of all, just outside of like obviously it being fully Australian, there is no holds barred. Like you'd think that obviously they don't give a shit about like trying to, I don't know, cater our dialogue or our slang or whatever to an American audience, which I appreciate. So outside of just that stuff, which resonates with me, obviously, regardless of where it's set or whatever, the show is just absolutely sensational, and it is a roller coaster. It's I don't know. It's got everything you'd ever want from a TV show. Really, like I'm sounding like the best salesman ever here, but it's hilarious. It's dramatic. It's got really great character stuff, really emotional stuff, really terrific performances. It's shot so well. It just looks beautiful. It's really short. You know, it's just like, dude, it's like the total package of a television show, in my opinion. I think it's like borderline perfect, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Just everyone go and check out this show. I feel like this is going to turn into, now that it's done, the third season's done. It's over.
Is it like a comedy? Like, is it like hard comedy, or is it like a mix?
It's not hard comedy at all. It's hilarious, but it's like it's also really violent. And no, it's at the end of the day, it's a drama. It is,
Okay.
but you know, I find it so funny, and it delivers on everything it sets out to do, dude. There are multiple, throughout the 3 seasons, there are multiple extended action set pieces in this show shot in like rural New South Wales. And they are like S-tier action sequences, like S-tier shot gunfights. Absolutely terrific. And just the tension everywhere. You go from like dying laughing to like immense tension to it gives you everything, man. It's the total package. I don't want to. I can repeat that 50 times. I feel like this show's going to turn into like my watch Black sales campaign.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That has been spread, of course. You know, massively impactful, and everyone's now watching Black sales because of me, obviously. So I feel like this is going to be now that everyone watch Mr. In Between. It's so freaking good.
I remember like when I was like flipping through channels, there was like I stopped him for a second. Like there was a scene like, I don't know, like the New South Wales equivalent of like the Always, but like it was really well shot and it just looked gorgeous. And I was like, damn, maybe we should invest time in this. But then I was like, nah.
The show's beautiful. It's beautiful, dude. Every scene.
How many episodes?
I believe there's 26.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's something around there. I believe so. Oh, it's so freaking good. And like just the character stuff that they do is so, it's storytelling that's so up my alley in terms of exploring characters in the most like simple way of just these conventional arcs for people, but it's all done so tastefully and so like subtly, you know. That's like me getting all like Zach with his script analysis shit like I like to do. But it's, dude, just watch this show. If you don't know, have you guys like seen it outside of that? Like, have you seen it, Fitzy? Have you heard of it at all?
Yeah, I think my dad's watched a bit. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He like, so like the premise of the show, like he's a dad that's kind of involved in like criminal shit, right? And like that's why he's in between. Okay, yeah, right.
And it's that's, I guess that's the easiest way to describe it. It's just it's just this Aussie hitman dad is sort of like trying to live.
But like his daughter's like
dual lives.
His daughter's like young, and that's why like there's an issue, right?
Yeah. And there's often issues and crossover. Yeah. Check it out, bro. Check it out, everyone out there. As always, now we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, what is your favourite zombie movie? Lockie said, World War Z. I don't hate that.
No,
I didn't mind World War Z, to be honest, when I saw it. Don't really remember much of it, but it was there. Aiden says Zombieland. Also like Zombieland a lot. Henry said, it comes at night, technically qualifies as a zombie movie, which is pretty poggers. Is that how you say that? Am I meant to say poggers?
Yeah, you meant to say poggers.
It's like poggers.
No, it's poggers. Wait, what did you say?
Podgers. It's pronounced podgers.
If you both got on the same page and tried to convince me of that, I would 100% have bought it. Jai said, for sure 28 days later, no cap is the best zombie movie. This made me realize, as we'll get into in a second, I really am not that caught up with zombie movies, to be honest. And he said, I don't have a long history with zombie movies or any type of horror in general. It's not my favorite in particular, but a zombie movie that I found very interesting was The Dead Don't Die, directed by Jim Jarmusch. My apologies. Jarmusch.
I don't know.
It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea because it's 100% style over substance. But for a film that I rated 5 out of 10, I really found it to be amusing, funny, and random. There's this one subplot with the juvenile kids that I thought fucked up that I thought fucked up the art of this product. Otherwise, I would have given this film at least a 7 or 8. Oh, okay, so the kids were bad. I get, yeah. I'd recommend this film if you're into zombies. You also get to see Adam Driver drive a mini Fiat and Tilda Swinton being a Scottish samurai. Wow, that's interesting. What's a Fiat is a car, right?
Yeah. I think
I said it right.
Dude, when I watched this film and I went to I think it was IMDb afterwards. I can't remember if it was like watched IMDb. Like, so many of the reviews just missed like what the movie was trying to do, and like, oh, the performance is so stale and woody. I can't believe it's obviously acted like they're written that way. And if you watch the film, it's not hard to see that these are the way that that the characters are written. That they're meant to be these stiff, just kind of archetypes of characters from these films, and they're meant to be very woody in their delivery, and like that's where the charm and like the.
Do you mean wooden?
Huh?
Oh, sorry, keep going.
Wooden. I don't know. They're meant to be wooden. Yeah, sorry, not woody. Yeah, whatever. But they're meant to be very stiff in their delivery and their actions, and like it's meant to be that awkward thing, and that's where the movie's charm and comedy and kind of delivery banks on. And people are like, "Oh, it's obvious I don't want to be there. It's such a like get you." Like, how do you miss that? Like, it was frustrating.
Is this like another Slaughterhouse Rulez situation with the score? It's like, why is it that low?
No, because like this is, I mean, kind of, but like, yeah, I think I understand this one a lot more because it's.
Isn't that movie also about fracking or something?
No, I don't think so. Not that I remember. No, it's just about these two local cops in a small town dealing with the zombies. It's on Netflix now. I mean, it's easy to watch. It should be up your alley, Liam.
Yeah, I added to my list. Bill Murray's in it as well.
Bill Murray, it's a lot of crossover. Bill Murray's in Zombieland, isn't he?
Yeah, briefly. Yeah.
Isn't that like a gag?
Bit of a cameo,
it's Bill Murray survived the apocalypse?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Were you going to say something about Tilda Swinton, Fitzy? Swindon?
No, sorry. Swinton, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he ends with saying, Star Wars is an excellent fiction, by the way.
I think it might be something to do with Adam Driver and one of the lines he has.
Oh, okay. So it's like a reference to the film. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, dude, if you watch because it completely derails towards like the latter half, and like it's like what becomes the like it becomes completely undone almost, but like it's intended to be that way, and like it's rather good in what it does, but it's Andy's right. It's definitely not for a lot of people.
Would it be for me?
I think you'd struggle with it.
I trust you. Luke wrote in and said, don't have a favourite zombie movie, but I loved Hot Fuzz and World's End. So when I watch Shaun of the Dead, I'm sure I'll love that. I mean, it's pretty fair logic there. I'm sure you will. What are our favourite zombie movies, Fitzy?
Well, the only other two I could find... Actually, no, what was it as well? But the only other two I could find was Shaun of the Dead and 28 Days Later. So probably 28 Days Later, I think. Yeah, it's very stylistically cool. It's Danny Boyle, and it's very like low, like you can see the pixels, and it's very like
I've seen yeah.
There's a lot of thing like why was this shot on like a Motorola phone or something, and like that's what it looks like. It's so like low, not low-fi, but like I don't know, whatever you call it.
Low res.
Low res, yeah, I guess low whatever. But yeah, the soundtrack is great. Cillian Murphy's surviving with some dudes, and it's a lot of fun. I don't like some stuff in the third act, but
Dude, I thought you
Maybe-
gave it a 9 when you first watched it, but then this week I saw it was a 7. I was like,
oh really?
I swear you gave it like a really high score when you first
I
watched
think
it.
so.
This is why he's ditched the scores.
I think because the third act stuff, like I've not liked as I thought about it more. You
Okay.
know? But it's probably my favorite. My favorite cut to credits and like last moments of a film. You know,
Oh,
because
I love
like
that shit.
oh dude, I want to say it, but like it's like the sense of release from the last moments of the film are just like amazing, and then this awesome song plays. It's just like epic. It's awesome. But yeah, I love 28 Days Later. Yeah, I recommend it.
That sounds podges.
Podges.
What about you, Jaden?
28 Days Later was one of my answers as well, but since it's been mentioned twice. It kind of lands on 2, other than that one. Night of the Living Dead is truly phenomenal. Like, it's 1968, and it's but like, you know, other than technologically, it is not dated at all. It is brilliant in instilling terror and conveying a story, and what it does, what it shows, and how it tells you what's happening is really, really phenomenal. Like, it's like, you know, when you talk about influential movies, like, this is obviously one of the most influential zombie movies of all time, but like, just in terms of trying to figure out like how much movies, like how much weight certain films carry, like, this has to have, in terms of just like a general scale, this has to be like one of the most influential movies of all time. Honestly, it's really, really brilliant.
Wow.
Like, I can't emphasize how brilliant that is. And the other one's Rec, the REC, which is a Spanish found footage horror film, and it's once again just exceptional. And like, you know, it's probably a bit borderline on whether it's zombie, but I had a look and it does say zombie in it, so I was like, I can mention it. And I think like the Rec is one of the most intense experiences you'll have in just constant like caught your breath, heart beating moments, and like, it's storytelling at its best in an alternate form.
I didn't know that was a zombie film. I knew it was found footage from it.
Yeah, it's because I had to search, but and like, I was like, is Rec a zombie film? And like, I said yes. I was like, okay, I'll mention it.
There was a Night of the Living Dead poster in Slaughterhouse Rulez. You know that like the poster of like the girl with like the black like eyes, you know? Like the she's like staring at the camera at the it's like
It's like the still image.
yeah. That's a
I
great
know what
poster.
you're talking
I
about.
love that.
I found this kind of tricky. I mean, I like Zombieland. I've seen it once, like, I don't know, a decade ago. I liked it. Do you want to count? Does I Am Legend count? It's like a vampire movie, but it's the same sort of shit, you know?
I would have said
The
that's more.
zombies, isn't it?
That's a zombie movie.
Well, they're vampires, but
Are they? Really?
yeah,
I always thought
yeah.
I always thought they were zombies.
But they act like zombies. don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's an acceptable answer.
Yeah.
No, I like that movie a lot. I do. I mean, it does I don't know if it's blowing anyone's mind from a plot perspective, but
Blowing everyone's mind. I see what you did there.
I didn't do anything. What?
Because he blows himself up at the end.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That was a not pun not intended, but I appreciate that you brought that up. You know, I like the movie. I mean, it delivers in everything but, you know, interesting plot, if that makes sense. Like I like Will Smith a lot. I like the world a lot. It's really that dynamic with the dog is awesome. That's really what sticks with me about it. You know, I think that's really well done in the film. So it's a memorable film. I liked it for sure. So that's my answer.
I feel like it's on free to air TV so much. Like, I think I've seen that opening scene of him
really?
like driving around in like, I don't know, his car chasing deer like
Yeah.
so many times, because like, I just like, you know, it's just constantly on, and like, I watch the first 3 minutes and then leave.
I mean, it's probably actually one of the more memorable renditions of like a post-apocalyptic New York. You know, it's been done many a time in many a medium, I should say. But I know, yeah, it does stand out because it's always cool how the deers are running around, and I like that stuff. As always, we'd love you to submit your questions, thoughts, reviews for next week's film in the YouTube comment section, or send us a DM on Instagram, or if you're sophisticated, you'll join us on the Discord and do it there.
I don't know how sophisticated the Discord is.
Yeah, actually, you're probably right. Yeah, I'm like subverting expectations there. The question we'll be asking you this week, and we'll be reading out your submissions at the end of next week's episode. We're asking, what is your favourite British film? Let us know. That's it for this week's episode of Cinema Effect. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Thanks for listening. Fitzy, what are we doing next week?
Next week we're continuing the modern Planet of the Apes trilogy with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which is on Disney Plus and Foxtel. So yeah, see Caesar Wrexham shout.
See him shout no again, and have it just be just as epic. I'm excited. Matt Reeves jumping in for the first time. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining me as always. Have a great rest of your week, listeners, and goodbye.